get funky with me.
And these houses weren't here in between. They were not here at the time.
Oh, really?
So it was very easy for Marilyn and JFK to walk out of sight.
What's going on, everybody? So here I am in Santa Monica, California, to do a little video, but a little episode in American history having to do with Marilyn Monroe, JFK, Peter Lawford, Samuel Goldwyn, Louis B. Mayer, Bobby Kennedy, Chris Christopherson, Lady Gaga, Donald Duck, and my dog Shady. Every celebrity you've ever met in your life has something to do with this house and that house. And I'm gonna tell you about it right now. All right, so this house right here was owned by Louis B. Mayer of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer.
That's right.
Correct? Drew from California
That's
Pickin'?
right. It was built in about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, some crazy thing. He hired his prop people at the studio to come out and build this house, and it was just built like so fast in less than 2 months. I can't even believe that.
And then he owned this house, and his partner, Samuel Goldwyn, owned that house right over there. We're gonna go closer to it in a moment. Yeah. So these three houses were not here back then.
Two houses, maybe that middle one was, but these two were not.
These two were not, maybe the middle one, but over there. But Peter Lawford bought this house, right?
He did later on, but let's just give a little bit more background on this house. This house, very famous for Louis B. Mayer owning it. In fact, he actually conceived the whole idea of the Oscars, the Academy Awards, guys, was dreamed up right in here on his dining table. As well, Scott, as they screened the first version of Gone with the Wind right here in their screening room.
Wow. So Gone with the Wind's premiere technically was here.
To them, yeah, in private.
Wow.
Yep.
Look at this gorgeous house. This is, I mean, what are we thinking the value of this is nowadays?
This is 15 million.
15 million.
Something 10 to 15 million, especially with this connection.
Yeah.
It's always been said that Marilyn Monroe and JFK used to have affairs here, but I just told you a little while ago that there's another house down the way where we really believe it actually happened over there, all the hanky-panky. But many parties went on here, a lot of crazy parties. They used to entertain a lot. In fact, later on, this was rented by the Beatles, and Led Zeppelin actually rented this place too as well.
Wow.
As well as, I think, Warren Beatty.
Jeez.
Got a lot of history.
And it's absolutely incredible to see up close. Wow.
It's not that big of a house. We call it a mansion. Back then it was his summer house, because he probably lived in Beverly Hills, and this was his beach house. This was all right here called Billionaires Row right here.
Billionaires Row, all the way up here.
People like Gloria Swanson, Mae West, the Annenbergs, the Hearsts, Marion Davies just up the way, and Louis B. Mayer and his partner Samuel Goldwyn.
Yeah. So Peter Lawford, if you don't know, very famous actor. He married JFK and Bobby Kennedy's sister Pat.
Patricia Kennedy, yep.
And that's how he became part of the Kennedy circle. And I believe he introduced Marilyn to them, did he not?
That's right. And in fact, the reason why he was able to live here was because of his rich wife. Let's just be honest.
Oh,
he was part of the Rat Pack, we know, but he didn't make this kind of money out here.
I didn't know that. I thought Peter Lawford was a successful
he did well,
actor.
but you had to be a billionaire to live out here.
Okay.
So he was a millionaire and well off and part of the Rat Pack, but the fact that he was married to a Kennedy was it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That was his ticket.
So,
and he used to take a helicopter, guys, from right out here on the sand. Scott can maybe even find a picture of it. And many people think that Bobby Kennedy, the night Marilyn died, took this helicopter away from here because Bobby Kennedy was said to have been in LA at Marilyn's house twice that day, the day she died.
Wow.
I know.
I know that.
It's heavy.
So that's Peter Lawford's house, formerly Louis B. Mayer's house, but then right up here is Samuel Goldwyn's house, right here. And what went on there, we'll tell you when we get there. So we think this house in the middle was not here. So one of these probably. That one looks pure.
There. This one I think was.
Okay.
And the one next to it, you can see the architecture. It's very clear the age.
But this house was owned by Samuel Goldwyn.
That's correct.
And so, Marilyn Monroe and JFK, not a lot of people know this.
Nope.
This is a bit of a scoop. You scooped it on your channel a long
That's
time ago.
right.
You were inside the house.
I was inside
And
the
there's
house.
videos on your channel of it. But up there in the attic is where Marilyn and JFK met for
Yep.
their little rendezvous.
That's what we think. There's no windows. And look up here, Scott. The Secret Service would have been on the hillside looking with basically armed, as snipers to check out to see if there was anybody trying to threaten the president's life.
While he was in there.
That's right. And supposedly, Scott, they would come out here. Marilyn would have been in a bathrobe or some type of coat. You wouldn't know it was her. And JFK and Marilyn would walk along this beach, right along here, right into this house here. And there was a famous he's a photographer, and he's on YouTube, and he said that he went to a party one night, and he asked Peter Lawford at the end of the night, "Gee, where was John F. Kennedy?" And Peter Lawford said, "Oh, he came and went." That's what he said. I'm sorry, it's his words, but
Now, also, one more thing. Now, Marilyn Monroe posed for some famous photographs right here, correct?
Yep.
Am I going to be able to find those?
Yeah, we're going to go down this way, Scott, and we're going to find the exact spot that George Barris, the photographer George Barris, took of Marilyn right here on the beach in Santa Monica. Now, Marilyn grew up in this area, so she knew this area very well, but she could have chose any place to shoot anywhere in Los Angeles, and she chose right over here in front of these couple houses, and you can actually see this house in the background right above her head. And it's my contention that she was sending a message to the Kennedys. Hi, I got you guys. This is where it all went down.
And that was her last photo shoot?
That was her last photo shoot.
Wow.
That was July 13th, Friday the 13th it happened to be. And it was right around the time that we're here right now, dusk. And she said to George, "I'm cold." And he brought out a blanket, and they did stuff with the blanket. And she was wearing this alpaca sweater that's very famous, that's now in the museum now. And he said, "Marilyn, I just have one more photograph to go." And she said, "All right, this one's for you, George." And she blew him a kiss. And that's that famous last shot. Yep.
I'll get that one.
Yep.
All right, so that's the house, the secret house where Marilyn met JFK, right up there.
It's been renovated.
Yeah, and it looks like people are now living here again because it was empty for a long time, you said, right?
It was empty for a while. I stood right up on this balcony. All this is new out here. This has all been reconstructed. If you look at my video, you'll see there was a rotunda right here that they wanted to rip out, and instead they just basically built this facade over it and made it looks like they made it all one patio back there, whereas before there were separated little divisions between these rooms. This is the master bedroom, by the way. This room right here is dedicated just for furs. It was a refrigerated.
This little room on the
bottom?
On the top.
This was her closet, like Samuel Goldwyn's wife would have stored her furs up here in a refrigerated room.
Wow.
All just for furs. That was her dressing room.
How many fur storage lockers do you have at your place? I have 3.
I don't know, yeah. But you can see all the wood that hasn't been painted, that's all been repaired, and I believe they put a new roof on it. It looks to me like it's been re-shingled. But I was out here to do some architectural work because that's what I do, and this guy told me the amazing story about this location.
That's really cool.
Yep.
I'll wrap mine up so you can concentrate on yours. So Drew, this is where Marilyn posed for her photographs, right?
That's right, Scott.
Right on this spot on the beach. How do we know this?
Right here. Well, I got the original picture of Marilyn being posed right here with George Barris, Friday the 13th, July 13th, 1962, just like 3 weeks before she died. And I compared the picture to where Marilyn is sitting right here. And she took a series of pictures, of course, but this one picture has our Samuel Goldwyn secret love nest right above her head, Scott. There's no coincidence about that.
Let me zoom in on that house right there. So there, I've zoomed in. That's the house right there in the middle. Whoa, boom.
Yep. And see that tall peak right there of the house? That's where the secret love nest room is. No windows, just a couple dormer windows.
Yeah, that's it. With that one chimney, sorry, now I've lost it. That house right there with the
gray roof.
the gray roof, white, and then the red chimney.
Yep, on the side.
And then on the left-hand side, where you see that window, that's the secret love nest.
Yeah, that's right. That's the dormer window you're going to see in my video. I have a whole series of videos inside that house. I was the first and only one to record that on that inside of that house and put out this story.
And so she posted photographs right here with that in the background.
And that was no coincidence. She could have chosen any place in all of LA to shoot with George Barris, her friend and photographer, and she chose right here.
Yeah. Sneaky, sneaky. All right, Drew, thank you for the history lesson.
Hey, thank you.
That was awesome. All right, from Santa Monica Beach, it is getting chilly out here. Oh, but not Canada cold. Let's be honest, this is LA cold.
That's right.
This is nothing.
Nothing.
I can go shirtless right now, but I won't.
That's right.
No. That's for a different video. Drew, thank you, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Peace.
Cheers.
Out. That was the first thing I ever saw when I came to LA was an LAPD helicopter came out of the bushes just right beside me. Scared the hell out of me. Yeah, man. That was at the Standard Hotel. So off of Sunset right below whatever street that is. I guess it was just coming over up the hill there.
Yeah.
But it just came out of nowhere.
Wow.
Wow.